because I'm getting better at remembering when I haven't done that. To the bottom right hand side from Team Liquid, our blue Zerg is Snute. Finish up in first place of his group from last night. He did lose out of TLO in the ZvZ though, keep that in mind, as we do have our red Zerg top left from Euronix Gaming is Nerchio. And boy, have I casted, I mean these guys have played so many games against each other over time, but have I casted some games against these guys too, some crazy ones at that. I'll never forget one of the OSC Community Opens or something. Was, I think one of the OSC Community Opens was, it was a lower bracket for some reason, and it was just a best of one. And they played on Daybreak, these two players, and it was like insane. They played like this 1 hour game with like every single mineral being mined out, but not just that, like it came down to the final fight. And I think that game's on my YouTube somewhere. It's really insane. If you like search my YouTube for Snute Nerchio, you'll probably find it. It was really sick, like one of my favorite games of all times. As we get set up here and get rolling. Pool will come down in the main, and just going to be seeing this Overlord moving around as well. Setting up in the early stages, looking to see what's going to be happening. Hatch gas pool on either side of the map. As you do see these Overlords just moving around here, and looking to see what they can set up in towards. Again, nothing really too crazy right from the get-go. And it's just going to be a little bit of macro ZvZ for the early stages, at least maybe going up towards 3 bases. We'll see if either of them wants to go for something crazy yesterday a couple of times rather than the fast free hatch play, which is fairly common in ZvZ despite the potential aggression, because you basically go on 3 hatches on 25-ish workers, and then you spam out Ling Bane to be aggressive and defensive at the same time. But yesterday we saw a lot of Evo Chambers early in the game, and a mixture of fast +1 missiles and fast Carapace upgrades, and it really was a little bit all over the place. 2 Lings moving forwards up this right hand side, and meanwhile Snute himself is also got another couple Lings through the center, just spreading out his first 6 Lings just to check around, just to see if Nerchio's been a little bit cheeky, but the answer is he kind of isn't really being cheeky at all, just very very standard stuff. Bane Nest coming down from Nerchio, and then into the 3rd hatchery. I imagine Snute's Bane Nest will be not far behind. He just spent the money on it. There it is, coming down at the front of the natural. So very similar build so far between these 2 players. Logan19 in the chat saying 14 seconds flat to donate the $1, and had to log in as well to do it, folks. $3 for the players. Exactly, I say 20 seconds to do it, and Logan did it in 14. So you can even make it a challenge, time yourself, see how long it takes you to do it. If you're the fastest, I will do absolutely nothing for you, but I'll give you a shout out if you give it the fastest, but I guess there's no proof, so then you're all going to cheat. Just do the coupon code, use the coupons, go, go, go. It's literally like free money, it's insane. But for the players, that's cool, it makes you an esports hero. Anyways, the ZvZ continues, and obviously we get into this sort of Ling Bane phase where it's a bit of back and forth on either side of the map, going back and forth. It's going to be seeing Nerchio coming back down this right side and then back up towards the top. Also a few more Lings up here, moving around to see where they can go as well. I'm just going to be seeing a couple of Banes moving forwards. A couple of Queens coming in towards the front as well, and we do see more Lings going over towards the left-hand side. Again, just getting set up here, some more aggression out of Snute. He was a little bit slow in the drone camp, but now he'll take a worker lead. Just using this aggression to be able to get a few more workers up. Again, overall, it's looking pretty even back and forth, and neither players kind of ran into a Bane or anything crazy just yet, and obviously not really expecting them to. These guys are both very good, and their Ling Bane might be some of the best in the world, not just in Europe. I mean, these guys really can sometimes even take it to the Koreans. Snute especially, I think, is one of my favourite players to watch play Ling Bane, but that's not really one of those times why. I mean, it's not terrible, but losing 3 Banes for 2 is never great. I mean, he gets a good Bane connection up on the high ground then. He kills a couple of drones in this. I mean, some damage coming down still. He's morphing in a couple of Banes. He uses those to actually tank the Lings for a while, and actually this is going fine until back at home he loses 15 workers. Suddenly Nerchio, the few Lings that peeled around the side, has done huge damage here. Way more damage than what Snute has achieved on the other side of the map, and that's going to be very painful. 16 workers down. Snute does not have anything to show for that himself now. That is very, very painful here, as you're going to see those Lings Going back up towards the top, and Queen is going to push those Lings around. A couple of Banes morphing in here to the right side. Snute still trying to be aggressive, and now he's trying to drone up as well. He just went into a roach one. He had so much gas in the bank. You can almost imagine that he maybe wanted to play aggressively in towards this over the next few moments, but then he never ended up getting the chance, of course, because he just lost all of those workers. A big Bane connection really did mess him up here. And Nerchio, well, somehow Snute is actually all the way back up at 35 workers already to 36. Somehow Snute has more or less just gotten back in worker count. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be ahead overall, but it is something. He still does have more gas in the bank, even though, okay, Nerchio has started up an Evo chamber upgrade. It's a +1 missiles invested into. I mean, that's 100 gas that will go somewhere else in the near future. As we are going to be seeing this little bit of a Ling fight over here again. Just having a little bit of a skirmish too. Just going to be seeing Snute then. Isn't completely dead, which is good to know, considering that this really did kind of seem as though he was completely dead. He starts his own Evo chamber in his lair now. He will be playing behind on the upgrade. He just has to protect himself against these this Ling Bane now, which he is starting to do. He gets one of the Banes. Actually, I really thought he was going to get 2 of them. But now these Banes are going to get more workers. Well, it's not terrible across the map. At the same time, he does get a few workers of his own, so keeping the work count even-ish. There's just ways in which he's behind, right? He's starting to tech up in towards the roaches. As more Lings come out from Nerchio, just looking to keep up the pressure. Snute really needs to just gather his roaches together ASAP. Not let them be surrounded, not let them be caught in kind of awkward positions or anything. 5 workers down, as we're going to be seeing those Lings coming back over, and curve a couple of them getting picked off once again. Small Lings getting picked away. We're going to see Nerchio going back over towards the third base here. As we're going to be seeing that Queen gets surrounded pretty quickly. So Queen gets picked off right away there, and that's a nice little something. As a couple of Banes in this main base also going to get taken down. Now just going to be seeing a few more Lings being picked away out here. His drone is still dropping as well. 5 more workers killed, and Nerchio is just keeping up the pressure. He's got so much money in the bank, Nerchio, that when he gets the opportunity to actually spend that, his supply will skyrocket just slightly. As we are going to be seeing those roaches coming in again, and those Lings being pushed back away up the right-hand side. Roach speed coming in for both players. Snute is a little bit further ahead. He's down on that +1, but it doesn't look as though Nerchio will be able to take advantage of it. Maybe if he was to start +2, he'd take an advantage in that regard. As right now, Nerchio really is just got so many minerals. He's loses another 6 workers. Snute are getting aggression in the main base. Down 10 workers ahead slightly in army supply. Nerchio will start +2 missile attacks. So again, maintaining upgrade leads, giving himself more opportunities to trade very efficiently at later stages of this game. I'm going to be seeing the Lings in the upper right from Nerchio just going to sit around as well, getting ready to roll. With a Queen fight going on this Overlord is, well, Snute, now he is definitely falling a little bit behind in terms of supply. But again, Snute has like gas in the bank. Like it's become a really weird, difficult game to read, honestly, overall. Like, I'm trying to look at this and just sort of figure out kind of how things exactly are going, but it really is all over the place. I can't, I just can't quite believe that he's not so dead. Okay, now he looks to be 40 army supply behind, but he still has 300 gas and 500 minerals in the bank. I mean, 40 army supply is a lot, but it's something you can recover. I mean, he's going to kill a Orochi. He's going for this gold base. He's desperate to get this gold base. Problem is, I think he's going to lose these units because there's no real way out of this that's super effective for Snute in any way, shape, or form. Nerchio's set up a surround on either side, and the Snute runs through units to get over here. He will lose a little bit more, and that's going to be very painful. And now you can see a 40 supply deficit, and larger, even though he has spent the money. So Nerchio finally spending all those minerals, and definitely is still ahead in the end. It's taken a little while to really wrap my head around it because Snute was taking damage, but then Nerchio wasn't spending money, which was kind of, you know, is kind of keeping Nerchio in it. You know, it's kind of keeping Snute in it a little while. And, you know, when you see that kind of possibility, like, oh, he's got a chance, you know, that shouldn't really happen based on what's happened in this game so far. But obviously it did happen, and, well, so interesting stuff as you're going to see those roaches moving up the right side. A lot more roaches in Nerchio coming down in towards the third base the next few moments. You're going to see this fight is breaking out. A lot of roaches in Nerchio. Well, I mean, he's about to hit +2 missile attack as well, so this is going to go from being one-sided to about 20-sided. Only that doesn't work. Maybe 0-sided, there's just no sides at all. Nerchio just stomps the sides down. Bad analogies, but either way, it's a GG as Nerchio takes game 1 of this best of 3. Snute is the one who's going to have to find an answer. To get your cheers on in the chat, guys. If you're supporting Team Liquid, if you're supporting this guy in the bottom right side, our blue Zerg player Snute, I want to hear in the chat. I want to hear you guys showing some support. As to the top left, our red Zerg player, it is from Euronics Gaming, Nerchio. So kick off into game 2 of this best of 3, getting things set up, getting things rolling. Looking to see how this is going to go. Game 2 of the series. Nerchio is moving down towards the lower right hand side with an Overlord here. And an Overlord of Snute is going to be moving up as well. Looks as though we're going to have hatchery first from both players here once again. Looks as though we're not going to be having any sort of early aggression. No 13-12s, no 12 pools. Might even kind of gas pool hatch into something aggressive potentially. None of that so far. Some very standard stuff. Snute overdroned? I don't even think Snute overdroned. I think Snute was just dead from earlier in the game. Like, you gotta remember, he just lost like 10 roaches and 2 routes to the left side for nothing as well. And he was behind in eco for like the entire game. You know, he went into like a 5-worker lead, but I mean, he just trying to play catch up, right? I mean, maybe, I don't even think that, okay, maybe it was overdroning, but I think that he had a lot more issues than the overdroning in that game, honestly. Just falling behind early, like 15 workers dead. I'm surprised he made such a game out of it afterwards, and just can't help but feel that Nerchio just had all those minerals. But he's never able to put use. Imagine he takes an extra gas or something a little bit sooner, and all of a sudden he can actually play like this game where, you know, he's just massing up roaches so much faster. Obviously that can start going you know, his way very quickly and start creating some very interesting situations as well. But it is what it is, and let's see if Snute can tie this up in game 2. So far they're mirroring each other. I think the slight difference is just lings from Nerchio, no lings from Snute. A very small difference, honestly, like nothing really too crazy. Because we do see a couple of these drones coming down in towards the natural and getting rolling. So a couple of drones just going to be mining away. I mean, Snute will call a couple worker lead because he didn't make lings, right? But of course, then he has to make sure he can defend those lings. Otherwise he will fall into a bit of trouble. And I guess a couple of lings on the way from him. I guess with the queen combined, of course, there should be plenty for him to work with here. What's up, TurboGuard, coming in with the 10-month resub, saying, like what you see, subscribe. I was once a non-subscriber and never again. Thank you, TurboGuard, coming in with the 10 months this season. Wardy Hearts in the chat. And Dark as the Void, going back to back on the subs with the Twitch Prime for 9 months. Happy Twitch baby to us. Merry Christmas to all. Thank you very much for the Twitch Prime for 9 months, Dark. Appreciate it. Hope you're having a good week. Feelings gathering up towards the third base here, just making sure he's got plenty to defend. His 3 workers up right now, but down in army supply. Oh my god, look at this round of drones. Snute just made a massive round of drones. Round of drones from Nerchio is coming through a little bit later on, so it's not terrible for Snute, but he does have to make sure he can defend this initial wave of Zerglings. Did Nerchio build the Bane Nest? He did not. So Nerchio bypassing the Bane Nest right now, going straight at Roach Roaring. These first Zerglings are going to start running up in towards the main base. Nothing in the main to defend at all, actually. Drones will just turn and fight instantly. Snute is actually going to get, well, actually a good few kills. He's not actually going to lose anything. Maybe 1 drone in that exchange. 1 drone, 1 Zergling. Wow, and he picked off 10 lings. I mean, that is pretty darn impressive, honestly. That's a pretty good way to go. Right from the get-go, this Roach Roaring still building up about 75% of the way done in Evo Chamber. Gonna drop down as well. And again, 3 hatches up on either side of the map. Players will begin to go into the next stage of this. And there is Snute falling up into his own Roach Roaring. Evo Chamber, Roach Roaring. And I guess the left from Snute will not be too far behind. And his +1 missiles will be probably his priority. Stop +1, then stop the left. And go into the roach speed a little bit later on. And we'll see how these guys are going to play after this stage. As well, Snute actually grabs the first couple of kills on this side of the map as he drills his things into the third base. And now Nerchio will return the favour, gets 2 drones himself, and he's going for the third. And Nerchio does come out ahead by just that single drone. And those lings jumping back up in towards the main base. It's going to be seeing these couple of things still coming up this ramp, and they are going to be able to pick off these Zerglings there. So Was it worth it? A couple of Link Banes to clean it up? Well, I mean, whatever, right? It's like one of those very minor things that's not really right, it's not really wrong per se. I guess better to just get rid of those Lings, and well, now the Lair's on the way up, so Snute getting set to go into this, but the Lair came in a lot later than I thought it would. And so because of that, we have not seen the kind of potential to go in towards a roach speed time with the +1. Yeah, he's going to be much later on the +1 on the roach speed than he is on the +1, so that's going to hurt him a little bit here as we continue to set on up. What's up, old Jimmy? How you doing? Saying hi in the chat. What's up? Hello. Do you see a Spire dropping down from Nerchio? So maybe a little bit of a different play here then. Obviously opening with the roach, he actually just cancelled his roach speed and he will rebuild it. But wants to build up in towards those Mutalisks, and well, we'll see if that's something which Snute has an answer for. Obviously his Lair's just about to finish and we don't expect him to throw down an instant Hydra Den. Obviously this is all about scouting, kind of seeing the little things which might tip him off to being Mutalisks. And getting those eventually the Hydra's up in time. Well, okay, I say that. Throws the Hydra Den down straight away anyways, so he doesn't waste any time at all throwing this Hydra Den down. I really thought he was going to take a couple of minutes. I was like, oh yeah, he's going to, he'll maybe scout out a little bit, focus on getting plus. No, it's going to be Hydra straight away. Now this might be Hydra Den with the intention to throw down the Lurker Den very quickly. Obviously with it being Mutalist, you don't actually want to do that because just initially, by the time these mutas hit, you're not going to be on a mass amount of Hydras where you can afford to have Hydras and morph some of them into Lurkers. So you're really going to want to prioritize muscular augments, and there is through throwing down the Lurker Den. So it's not like you threw this Hydra Den down as an answer to the Spire, you threw the Hydra Den down as a way to get in towards the stage of the tech that he wants to get into here in the next few moments. Hydra Den now from Nerchio. I mean, it's very standard nowadays to go for the Hydra Den behind the Spire because you want to go into that Lurker Den. As a follow-up, you use the mutas to buy time, etc., and set up in towards the Lurkers, and go from there. Obviously, it's still okay for Snute. As soon as he does see the mutas here, he can make Hydras, and that is obviously going to be a big positive for him, compared to if he had no Hydra Den at all. It just means he's not going to have that upgrade route in time to utilize in some way. This dude starts up from Snute. He still does massive up roaches at the moment. Again, the only difference is about these 6-ish Mutalisks on the map right now. It's not a lot of mutas, it really isn't, but they do fly in, and they're going to get 3-4 workers already. Actually going to go up to 5. I like it, honestly, from Snute moving across the map with the roaches. I mean, I like it, but it can be very dangerous, right? You play a very dangerous game of if you don't get across here and do the damage, you're in trouble, because those mutas will eventually clean you up. But right now, only 6 mutas? I mean, it really isn't that many, right? It really isn't that many. Mutas coming in, they're going to target down a few of these roaches here. And Snute is just going to pull back. He's happy having just forced those mutas to pull back for a little while. And yeah, his own Lurker Den is up, so it'll be Lurker on Lurker. We might go in towards a very late game scenario here in this ZvZ. We get a few Musco Augments on the way up along with a few Hydras. He doesn't need a lot to turn away these mutas. It's only 6 mutas, they're not super scary. But he does need something. So the first few Hydras coming into the army now will start to be that answer. Looks off an overlord of the mutas as well, flying over to the right hand side, and Nerchio still just looking to see what else is happening. Some lanes going up the left side as well here from Snute. Just going to see those lings doing a little bit more roaches and a couple more Hydras on the way out, and we do see the Mutalist of Nerchio still coming down towards the south side. A few Lurkers are going to start morphing in, and that Musco Augments is still coming through, and again attack on towards this mineral line. Picks off a couple of workers here. Now we see the roaches starting to push their way through these rocks. So rocks taking some damage, and 7 more Lurkers on the way out. As those Lurkers finish up, they're going to start moving forwards, and obviously now Nerchio will look to get into some aggressive positions, make use of those Lurkers, while Snute will look to use his Lurkers defensively to basically stop Nerchio from doing exactly what he wants to do, get into those aggressive positions. The army supplies are maxed out, even 121 to 122. Worker counts are both towards the 80-ish count for both each player here. As Nerchio moves up to the high ground, Snute is actually, well, he got a couple of shots off right away here, but he wants to back away, sooner rather than later, because the Lurkers are going to start firing very rapidly. He's trying to target the Lurkers down. His own Lurkers burrow in the background. Oh, Nerchio's just absolutely crushed Snute. Like, this wasn't even close. I mean, Snute just took a fight there into Lurkers, and you just really couldn't afford to at all. And Nerchio absolutely crushing it right now, and looking as though he's just going to pick up this 2-0 because, well, Snute does not really have an answer for me. He rebuilds a bunch of roaches and Hydras, okay, great. He's still down 30 army supply. there's not really an answer here. Now, you know, Snute's lurkers as well, not in high enough numbers to really turn this away. So just a couple of lurkers in range of this hatchery, and that's all it takes to slowly deny this here from Nerchio. Snute waiting for the moment to push back in. There's actually only 3 lurkers left from Nerchio. So he did clean out a bunch of the lurkers in the last fight, but I mean, again, obviously it cost him a lot. Snute's actually going to spend his entire bank coming back into this here. He's actually going to be able to max out once again. Nerchio still has a bank to utilize, which is kind of the difference between the players at the moment. As here we go. Snute attacks on in before Nerchio's reinforcements can arrive, so he will be able to push through. Wow, Snute bounces right back. I really didn't think that was going to happen there. He really looked at, you know, just to point this out, he dropped like 50-60 supply in this fight so quickly initially. I guess maybe he was remaxing a little bit faster than Nerchio was. It's always something to kind of keep in mind as a possibility. As Snute, a couple of lurkers already on this ramp, and he's going to start forcing his way up the ramp himself. He just killed all the lurkers of Nerchio. Right now on the map, there's not a single one available. There's not a single one available, as you're going to be seeing a few roaches of Nerchio going to get down a lurker or two. Suddenly Snute is the one ahead in army supply, still pushing forwards. Hive is up as well, by the way, for Snute, and he's the one with the lurkers. And just a better fighting composition in general. He's got a few more Hydras mixed in, I believe. A few Ravagers here from Nerchio, a way to try and maybe pick away at a couple of these lurkers as well. Like the Spine's just firing forwards every now and then. And here we go, a couple more corrosive files. We are going to be seeing, wow, quite a chunk of health taken away from those roaches here. And still pushing up into this position, trying to just do a little bit more. Another Ravager or two going to be morphing in from Nerchio just outside this 4th base. And well, Snute has not been able to break Nerchio. Nerchio's been very patient. Nerchio's going to push forwards now. Another lurker burrows, corrosive files to get rid of a couple of them. Snute, because he kind of wants to capitalize, but has to justify it, and he doesn't seem to think he can. So he is going to end up backing away here, Snute, as he falls back towards the bottom right-hand side of the map, his own half of the map. Gets ready to get set up and go again as a new hatchery comes down from him. He'll start to take his own 5th base. But he has got Hive Tech, by the way, and remember that. He's invested into +3 missile attacks, and that's something which Nerchio does not have coming up for him in this game. And also he's invested into Vipers, which is definitely something Nerchio doesn't have coming up for him in this game. And so without either of those things, well, Snute will have a stronger late game in another couple of minutes once that upgrade kicks in, once the Vipers have energy. Not even a couple of minutes, in the next minute he will have that opportunity, that potential to really abuse the advantage. A few more units coming down the right-hand side again to try and just do a little bit more. It's a big split away, like there's a lot of units he's missing to try and then pressure into the main Snute army. And yes, obviously he'll see Snute having to split up in a moment, so he is going to start responding pretty quick as soon as he sees it, more or less. Nerchio's already in position here though, and dealing some damage. Workers are going down. Snute looks as though he's going to be able to get to take the fight though, which is great for him, because obviously he sends more than enough units to defend, and actually pushing forwards. Okay, that's just a few changes there. It's a pretty good cleanup from Snute, but he kills a lot of stuff. And Nerchio, well, he's got a good bank, 2.5k, 1k, but you can't, you know, just because you have a good bank doesn't mean you can throw away all your units every time. Roaches and Hydras are still pushing up his left side. Spines continue to be picked away at here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. They're all just trying to burrow, but they go down in the process. I mean, now Nerchio counterattacks back into Snute's 4th base, and Snute has nothing in position. So what does he do? Well, he's kind of base trading it, like he's going to be able to take down the 4th base of Nerchio as well. He wasn't in a position to kind of do that, as you actually see back at home. Snute trying to get ready to defend. He sent a few units back as well, so he's actually going to have a little bit of everything. He's already used a couple of Viper spells, so his Viper's low on energy now too. But as he comes in from the north, Snute seems to have enough to push this away. On the other side now, does he have enough to keep on pushing? Well, no, not really, not forever. So he has to try and put it away as well. Looks as though Nerchio will deflect this and defend. Roaches in the middle line going down, and more roaches of Nerchio going to be arriving over here and picking away at a few more drones once again. 10 workers killed now as they continue our way through this. It's insane that they've been able to trade so evenly throughout and come out with such similar positions in terms of overall supply, but I think Snute's better off. He's got more money in the bank once again. He is down 10 workers, but he's up heavily in army, and if he continues to reinforce that army and push across, he's also got +3 missile attack against +2, and that's also going to go a huge way to helping out and making sure that Snute can potentially just push in and close this down in the next few minutes. Some lurkers going to start firing here. Ducks on the lurkers is obviously a fantastic way to make use of the Vipers, and it really shuts down one of the major parts of the compositions here from Nerchio, as he is really trailing in supply at the moment, and I really think Nerchio might have just met his match here. in this game number 2 because he's running out of options. He doesn't have money, he doesn't have a lot of income, he doesn't have any way to just sort of magically, you know, kill Snute either. He's got no timers he can hit, he's down in upgrades. He's got nothing going his way. I mean, I guess the one thing he has is map control to some extent. Like, okay, he's the one that's being the aggressor, so he's the one that will find the openings and the windows to attack in and to deal some damage, but well, that only lasts as long as you have units out on the map, and that's not going to be for too much longer. As those roaches and hydras of Snute will chase, and then Nerchio is going to be pushed all the way over to the left-hand side here. Nerchio is going to get pushed all the way away. Roach is going to be picked up once again, and we are going to be seeing Snoot's already on position on his right side, and that's going to be GG called. Snute will tie the series up one apiece, and one of ZvZ we got out of that one. Before Snute was kind of dead again after that fight until the lurkers. Game. Nerchio and Snute game 3 is underway here. It's again a hatch gas pull apiece, so really these guys not wanting to throw anything too aggressive at each other. So the top right hand side, our red Zerg is Nerchio from Euronix Gaming. I really thought with that push in towards Snute's 4th, he had it. Like, Snute really looked as though he took a fight that was just really terrible, like a fight he really couldn't take, but obviously I mean, I still think the fight was terrible, but I think maybe exaggerated by the fact that Nerchio was a little bit faster building reinforcements and Snute just waited a moment or two to think about what to build, perhaps. That can always kind of make like ZvZ fights look a little bit more one-sided, because if one guy's already reinforcing and the other's just taking a moment or two before they spend that lava, then it can, again, just exaggerate things slightly. But it was beautifully played from Snute from there, and getting into that +3 missiles obviously helped him out a lot. From Team Liquid, Snute to the bottom left, and I did indeed take the overlay off. I'm having bad memories of earlier games today where we didn't take the overlay off, guys, so just double checking. Better to double check than to not check and then you guys watch a blank screen for like the next couple of minutes. Did Bly lose? Yes, Reno took the 2-0 over Bly to advance to the semi-finals. So our first semi-final of the day will be TLO versus Reno. That will be coming up after this Snute versus Nerchio game, and that'll be our first best of 5 of this evening. So that'll be a best of 5. And then we'll go in towards the second best of 5, which right now we don't actually know who it is at all. I'm not sure what the score is on New Thermal Namshar. Let me try check the Russian stream quick, guys. Oh, Russian streams in game. I had no idea. Okay, well that's not going to help us at all, as we do see Fred Hatch coming down then. I have no update on Namshar U-Thermal for you guys just yet, but I'll try and get one as soon as possible. Fingers crossed. Yeah, a few Lings nibbling away at this third hatch as we see more Lings coming in from Nerchio as well. Ling speed kicks in from either side, and well, neither player really going to have more success than the other here. I think Snute might have actually killed a Ling, whereas Nerchio didn't. Yeah, I mean, a very minor difference that one of the Ling is very low, but as they run into each other again, I mean, it's just cat and mouse in and out, and maybe Snute has a couple more units. He's actually quite far down on the drone Snute, 6 workers down. He has a bit of an army supply advantage, and he's muffling quite a few Banes here already. I think he's just muffling a couple back at home defensively, and now he's trying to do that kind of bait tactic in towards his Banes on the high ground. Not 2 Banes of Nerchio are going to finish up in the next few moments, and so we'll see what he can do with those. It's actually, right now, Snute is starting to work his way through this third hatch. This hatch is already halfway dead. You can see a couple of Banes for a couple of Banes right there. He moves away, good micro by Snute. He's going to kill the third hatchery, unless he messes up with this final Baneling, which I just don't think he will. He's moving around very successfully so far. He's very close. He has to dodge away from another one. The hatch isn't dead yet, but it will go down. He'll get the queen first, so he doesn't have to fight in broodlings. Oh no, Snute, turn around. You still need to kill the hatchery. He gets it at the very end. Across the map, some Lings trying to break through for Nerchio, but they're not going to do anywhere near as much. Nerchio, well, he has enough Lings to counterattack now, but will he be able to break the hatchery? Snute doesn't even have a Baneling up at home yet. He doesn't have a single Zerg on the map yet. Everything was just lost. Okay, he has a couple here, but they're not Banes just yet, right? And so Nerchio, the better number's going to move forwards. Can Snute defend this with the help, of course, of his queens? Banes of Nerchio are going to move forwards as well, but I think Snute's Banes are going to be up in time to really help with this, as he is going to start winning out the fight in the main base. Snute now has to defend the natural big Baneling explosions on either side, just trading out with each other. It looks as though Snute is still the one to come out ahead on that, and as Nerchio is rebuilding his third hatch, Snute definitely seems to have taken the advantage here in the early Ling Bane stages, not having to reinvest into the third hatchery. Resources lost just a little bit more favourable to Snute, having not lost stuff there. Look at what Bane's finishing those. Nerchio's not giving it up yet. Queen's still helping to push this back. You see more Lings still just running forwards and then pulling back in. A nice Bane connection here from Snute as Nerchio gets a full surround on that one. But obviously, it's one of the few scenarios where you do not want that full surround to be happening. So it's not going to end well for you. 2 Banes and 2 Banes. Snute just using that to clean out and not have to worry about it connecting on any drones or anything. Well, Nerchio's kept up the pressure and he's done a little bit of something here to kind of slow Snute down, take a small worker advantage at this stage. So you are going to be seeing the feelings moving over towards the right hand side. Snute again trying to attack in towards the third. He's not going to get the kill this time or the cancel. But just keeping that pressure up, keeping Nerchio honest, just make sure Nerchio isn't droning like crazy behind this and making sure that Snute is going to be able to be forcing enough units out and hence keeping the drone counts very similar. Nerchio's throwing down an Evo chamber though. That Evo chamber is already starting up the +1 attack upgrade. So +1 missiles is coming through already here. We're going to see this Queen. Another one going to be finished up in a moment or two. And a couple of Banes on the way up as well still. So still setting up in towards this. More Lings running forwards. We're going to see this first Queen picked off. This second Queen going down as well. Nerchio's starting to fall apart. And now Bane's in the middle line. This is the sort of killer move that really will just end games here. Snute tries to target down lower health drones. Doesn't quite get it. But look at the progress he's making. He's just going to keep on attacking into the natural. The Queens are gone. So Nerchio is missing out on production cycles without lava inject. And he's just going to start being overrun to the point where he taps out of the game. And Snute, just like that's going to take it. Kaboom. 2-1 victory. And he could be setting up a Team Liquid team kill.